You've probably heard the saying that China is a world apart, right? But do we really have any idea how different life there can be? While here, summer is synonymous with bikinis and coconut water, on the other side of the planet there are people going into the sea wearing jeans and t-shirts without the slightest embarrassment. And the most curious thing, this is not an exception. It's customary. It's the way it is. Simple, everyday things that show how two cultures can look at the same scenario and see completely different things. Some of these differences make us laugh. Others cause strangeness. But they all have a reason behind them, as crazy as it may seem to outsiders. Today at Bello Mundo, we're going to explore 10 Chinese customs that, to many people in the West, sound very strange, but which, over there, are as normal as brushing your teeth. Number 1. Noise at the table. If there's one thing we learn from an early age, it's that making noise while eating is rude. No slurping noodles, chewing loudly, or, God forbid, burping after lunch. But try taking this etiquette manual to a Chinese home, especially one far from the big cities. You'll quickly realize that the rules change. In China, the sound of noodles being slurped is part of the meal, and don't be surprised if someone burps right in the middle of dinner. In fact, it may even be a compliment. It's like saying, "The food was so good that my body responded with audible gratitude." Of course, this is not a universal rule. In large cities such as Shanghai and Beijing, habits are more discreet, especially in fancier restaurants. But in the countryside, if the food is good, get ready to listen, because there, showing that you enjoyed the food has nothing to do with silence. Number 2. Spitting on the ground. Now, if we already find it strange to hear noises coming from people's mouths at lunchtime, imagine seeing someone spitting on the ground. In China, this still happens, although much less so today. Spitting on the ground was almost like sneezing. No one found it strange, especially among older generations or in rural areas. For decades, the custom was so ingrained that people didn't even think twice before spitting loudly in the middle of the street. It was seen as a way to cleanse the body, expel what was harmful, or keep energy in balance. Today, spitting on the street is frowned upon, and even considered shameful. Public health campaigns, especially during the pandemic, have hit a sore spot, or rather a saliva spot. Street signs, TV ads, and even sidewalk inspections have begun to remind people that spitting in public spreads disease and can even result in a fine. But if you go to the countryside, be prepared. There are still many people who wake up, clear their throats, and spit on the ground as if they were getting rid of evil at its root. And there's no point in frowning. For them, it's still part of their routine, even if younger people are trying to leave the habit behind. Number 3. Splitting the bill and tipping. Here in the West, the most common thing is for everyone to pay their own way, or at least try to split everything evenly. We do the math on a napkin, divide even the ice in the glass, and no one thinks it's strange. In fact, that's the norm around here. In China, however, the logic is completely different. If someone invites you to eat, you can be sure that they have already decided to pay for everything. And it's not out of vanity. It's etiquette. It's a sign of respect and consideration. As for tipping, the culture shock is even greater. In many countries, such as the United States and much of Europe, this is so common that many people already include the amount in their heads before even ordering food. In many restaurants, this fee is even added to the bill, and when it isn't, the customer already knows they need to leave something extra. Many people pay without even thinking twice. It's a way of acknowledging the service, of thanking the staff for their good service. Now, in China, this can be seen as rude. In many places, offering a tip is uncomfortable. It may sound like you are trying to show off, or worse, like you are belittling the person who is serving you. For this reason, most establishments simply refuse the extra money. What you pay already covers everything. There is no custom of giving a little extra or rewarding the effort. In luxury hotels or more touristy restaurants, there is greater tolerance. But even so, no one expects you to do this. And if you do, you run the risk of causing an awkward situation. In short, it's better to keep your coins and show your gratitude with a smile or a sincere compliment. Number 4. Clotheslines on the sidewalk, in the window, on the pole. If there's one thing that catches the eye of those visiting China for the first time, it's the amount of clothes hanging out to dry. And when we say hanging, we mean literally, everywhere possible. Apartment window, it's there. Stair railing, also there. Street poles, traffic signs, building railings, and even flower beds on busy avenues. You bet. To outsiders, it looks messy, but to them, it's pure practicality. Most houses don't have a laundry area as we know it. No backyard, no enclosed laundry room, no spinning washing machine. And a dryer? Almost no one has one. It's a much more common item here in the West. There, it never caught on. Now add to that the fact that millions of people live in small apartments. There you go. Any little outdoor space becomes a makeshift clothesline. If it's sunny and windy, it's the official place to hang clothes. Whether on the ground floor or the 10th floor, on the front of the building or at the market door. The important thing is not where it's hanging. The important thing is that the clothes dry. Number 5. Taking naps anywhere. If you've ever walked the streets of China, you may have noticed a scene that seems strange to many outsiders. People sleeping anywhere. People napping on buses, park benches, under trucks, or even leaning against subway walls. That's right. If there's one custom that many people find strange, it's this one. After lunch, it's common to see people lying on the office floor, resting their heads on their desks, or pulling a blanket out of their bags to sleep for 15 minutes. Napping is seen as an act of self-care. In schools, government offices, stores, and companies, this is routine. Some people even arrive with a pillow under their arm, lie down, sleep, and then go back to work as if nothing had happened. In the West, many people still associate this with a lack of discipline or commitment. But for them, it's exactly the opposite. With intense study and work schedules, the midday nap is almost sacred. It's the break that recharges them. It's that simple. Number 6. Refusal of gifts. In the West, receiving a gift is cause for celebration. We shake the box, untie the ribbon, tear the paper in a hurry. It's all part of the excitement. But in China, it's a different story. If you offer a gift to a Chinese host, don't be surprised if they refuse it. This is not rudeness, it is etiquette. It is part of the culture to refuse a gift at least 2 or 3 times before accepting it. It is a way of showing that the person is not greedy, that they did not expect it, that they are being modest. Only after much insistence will they finally take the package. And don't be surprised if they put it away without opening it. In China, opening a gift in front of the giver may seem rushed or even rude. It is common to thank them, put it aside, and open it later, away from prying eyes and possible embarrassment. And since we're talking about gifts, there's one more detail. If you're writing a card, avoid red ink when writing someone's name. In Chinese tradition, red for names is a sign of bad luck. It is the color used on tombstones or lists of criminals. So, choose a black or blue pen instead. Red is only for stamps, New Year's cards, or decorations. Number 7. The bad luck of number 4 and the good luck of 8. If there's one thing that stirs the Chinese imagination and even the real estate market, it's numerology. While here in the West the number of fear is 13, in China the number 4 is considered unlucky. The reason? The word "for" in Mandarin sounds almost the same as the word for death. In other words, saying "for" and saying "die" are practically the same thing to Chinese ears. And the result of this is visible everywhere. Entire buildings simply skip the 4th floor. You get in the elevator and see floor 3, then 3A, and then it jumps to 5. And some buildings go even further. No 14th floor, 24th floor, or anything like that. These floors will never exist. After the 13th, the floor will jump to the 15th, and so on. Just to avoid the dreaded number. Now, if the number 4 is the villain of the story, the number 8 is the true hero of luck. In Chinese, the sound of the word 8 is very similar to the word used to say prosperity or wealth. So, the more 8s, the better. It is a sign of money, success, and good fortune. Remember the Beijing Olympics? They started exactly on August 8, 2008, at 8:08 p.m. It was no coincidence. It was pure strategy. Some people only get married on days full of the number 8. Companies pay real fortunes for phone numbers with several 8s. And if the company's address ends with the number 8, success is almost guaranteed. At least, that's what many believe. Number 8. Spiritual traditions. In the sphere of spiritual traditions, the Chinese relationship with their ancestors and the afterlife also brings peculiar customs. One of the most curious examples is what happens during the Qingming festival. It is the equivalent of our All Souls' Day, but with a completely different ritual. Instead of flowers and candles, the Chinese light small fires and burn paper offerings. They burn symbolic money, known as Joss money, as well as replicas of material goods such as houses, clothes, cars, and cell phones. Everything is made of cardboard. The idea behind this is that the deceased continue to exist on another plane and need comfort, resources, and everyday objects. So families offer these things symbolically by putting everything on the fire. It is believed that in this way the gifts reach the other world, and for those who have never seen it, it may seem strange to come across someone burning a paper iPhone on the sidewalk. But there, it is a sign of affection, of care for those who have passed away. And if you found that different, just wait for the next custom. There is also a tradition called ghost marriage, which still takes place in some regions, especially in the countryside. It works like this. If a young man dies before getting married, the family can hold a symbolic ceremony, uniting him with a young woman who has also passed away. The idea is that no one should go to the other world alone. The marriage seals this union even after death. In many cases, the ritual is discreet and performed only with photos, wooden plaques with names, or small objects representing the bride and groom. It is more symbolic than anything else. In other situations, it may involve remains, but always in a respectful manner within the tradition. For some families, this is a way to fulfill their duty to marry their children, even if they have already passed away. There are also those who believe that this helps bring peace to the spirit of the deceased. It may sound unbelievable to outsiders, but it is a custom with ancient roots. Number 9. White is the color of mourning. While in the West we wear black to say goodbye to someone, in China the logic goes in the opposite direction. There, the color of mourning is white. Yes, white. The same color that, for us, refers to marriage or peace, in Chinese culture is linked to sadness, loss, and death. At Chinese funerals, it is common to see the closest relatives wearing white clothes, especially the children and grandchildren of the deceased. This is because, in the Confucian tradition, white represents the purity of the spirit and the void left by the departure. It is as if, by wearing white, the person shows that they are experiencing a period of deep pain and absolute respect for the soul that has departed. In addition to clothing, white envelopes with money are used to offer condolences to the family. This is the opposite of red envelopes, which are given at weddings and birthdays. Red is for celebration. White is for mourning. In some rituals, even the coffins, flowers, and decorations follow this aesthetic. White dominates the environment, creating a sober and respectful atmosphere. Vibrant colors such as red and yellow are completely avoided at these times. After all, they symbolize luck and prosperity, and no one wants to mix the signs. Number 10. No swimsuits or bikinis. To conclude this journey through China's most curious customs, it's time to talk about something that always causes culture shock: the beach. While for us the beach is synonymous with swimsuits, bikinis, sunbathing, and tanned skin, in China the reality is quite different. There, what you'll see most are people going into the sea, wearing shorts, t-shirts, jeans, formal wear, and even hats, gloves, and masks. And it's not because they forgot their swimsuits at home. It's a choice. Custom culture. Showing your body in public is still something that makes many people uncomfortable, especially older generations. The ideal of modesty remains strong in many regions, and it is not uncommon to see dirty looks directed at those who show up in more daring swimwear. But the main reason lies in the skin. In China, fair skin is still highly valued. It is a sign of care, status, and refinement. A tan, on the other hand, is something to be avoided by many. And that's where an unusual figure comes in, the face kini, a kind of swimming cap that covers the entire face, leaving only the eyes, nose, and mouth exposed. It looks like something a superhero would wear, or a beekeeper, but there it's just protection from the sun. Women wear swimsuits with skirts, long sleeves, gloves, and parasols. Men avoid swim trunks and prefer loose shorts, often even pants in the water. There are beaches with signs asking beachgoers to wear more appropriate clothing, that is, clothing that covers more of the body. To us, it may seem like an exaggeration, but there, it's just another sunny afternoon at the beach with lots of fabric and little skin on display. Ultimately, it's these differences that make the world so fascinating. But what about you? What did you think? Which of these customs surprised you? Tell us in the comments. If you liked this video, leave a like and share it with those who also love to discover the world in a different way. See you at the next destination here at Bello Mundo.